What's up, world? In partnership with Impact, taking it global and the Shamandi Foundation, N'we Jinan is proud to present to you the Windcarriers Challenge. This 20-week social media campaign is calling on all Indigenous youth and people in our network to create artwork at home and submit them for a chance to win prizes, including our grand prize, a brand new MacBook Pro. Tune in every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on all our social media platforms for a chance to learn techniques from professional artists every week. We will also be featuring some of our students who will be sharing their skills and talking about their experiences working within our programs. So get your beats ready and get those canvases primed. Make sure your camera's in focus as we move through this difficult time. The Windcarriers Challenge, here to bring you good peace of mind. That's it. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Hope you're feeling good on this beautiful, a Monday, May 25th, 2020. Super excited to be here again for another episode of the Windcarriers Challenge. My name is David Hodges. I'm your host here and co-executive director here at the N'we Jinan organization, and we're just excited to be here for our week 3 of the Windcarriers Challenge show. We're really excited to be bringing on our special guest today, play you some new music courtesy of the amazing N'we Jinan youth, and also here to give an artistic challenge and also give away some prizes. Really excited about that. We saw a couple of comments already come through. We got Stephen Bigger, wasn't a big fan of the intro music that we were playing, but that's okay, bud. We'll hope to get you next time on some good drumming music for the next one, okay? Give me some suggestions. We have Situlut. I'm not exactly sure, but I feel like that's some West Coastal First Nations there saying thank you for all that you do. I'm honored to share your post. I love you, dear, for being a good example before the children and the youth who are watching and listening to your example. So this message is going out for sure to all of the youth. I feel like that's a message going out to Violet. So we're super excited to bring her on the show, which we will get into a little bit. But for the people that are just tuning into the N'we Jinan Windcarriers Challenge for the first time, or that don't even really know who we are as an organization and what we do. So what is N'we Jinan? To start things off, so N'we Jinan is a non-for-profit organization. Our core mission is to weave creative networks of support for Indigenous youth. We essentially do that through artistic programming that we co-collaborate and build with from a project to project, program to program basis. And we're super excited to be also being able to showcase a lot of that work and bring on a lot of the youth that have worked with our programs, and also our artists that are working with the youth in those programs as well. And so that's kind of like what our network is all about. We're really about sharing Indigenous youth voice, but then also we want to inspire, we want to motivate through the works that are being created for positive change and systems change as well. So we're super excited about that. If you're tuning in for the first time as well, wondering what is this thing, what's happening, the Windcarriers Challenge? Well, essentially this is a social media campaign that has been launched in light of COVID and the social distancing. And really, we just wanted to extend our networks and reach out to all of our youth at home and students that have worked within our programs, and our teachers and the communities, and kind of just give everybody something to do, something positive and creative to do while you're at home. And so we're essentially doing this for 20 weeks. We're on week number 3. So we still got 17 more weeks of this bad boy going on and on and on. But we're also just really excited for people that are just joining us today, and also the people that have been with us from the beginning. If you want to get more connected and kind of learn more about the Windcarriers Challenge, in order to do so, you need to follow us on our social media campaigns, on our Facebook page, the N'we Jinan Arts, and N'we Jinan, or also on our Instagram pages as well. We're constantly updating and kind of showcasing the submissions that are coming on a weekly basis, but also that's when you get all of that information to kind of learn a little bit more about what we do. Shout out to our sponsors. We mentioned them in our intro video, but our sponsors are Taking It Global, an amazing organization that are sponsoring and also showcasing and not showcasing, but supporting us with some of the artists that we're working with, and also the networks, and also that grand prize of the MacBook Pro, which we're really excited about. And also the Create to Learn initiative, which is an amazing resource, which we're going to be talking more about next week. But shout out to Taking It Global, also the Shaman D Foundation, who have also donated some funds to help us support this initiative to kind of keep it running, but also for the prize packs that we're essentially giving away every week, and also to our care packages and our resources that we're ongoingly developing and sending to all the communities that have been working with our organization this year. So shout out to Shamadi Foundation. And this is also powered by Impact. Impact is our educational component of our organization that supports all of our programs, our educational consultants, all of our artists, the Impact artists as well, the artists that we're going to be bringing on the show. And so we're super excited that we are also being supported and powered by Impact, and going to be showcasing a bit of the work that we're doing with that organization. So we're going to get into a little bit of last week's submission. So every week, essentially, we've been giving out a different artistic challenge. Last week's artistic challenge was to come up with we had Peter Thomas come on the show and give the challenge that he wanted to see some graffiti style lettering. Graffiti style lettering of the word Windcarriers. We had a bunch of submissions, and I want to show some of these submissions because we're just starting this campaign, and so we're just kind of getting things going. But we were super excited to get a whole load of people that had submitted some artworks. So here we go. I'm just gonna bring you through some of the cool artwork that you've seen here. So we had Andrea Surrey. We had Ashley from Impact, little Windcarriers vibe. We have Effie over here from Lillooet, BC. Erica from Lillooet submitting some work. And we have Harmony, little Windcarriers. Some nice work as you're seeing here. We have Kane doing a little blacklight magic on that one. That was pretty cool. Kool-Aid with some street art here, some chalk. And we have Lily over here doing some pretty cool. What's cool, you could see kind of she sent a couple of things about like a little bit more in depth into like their actual process. So you see the kind of writing and then what it looked like the before and after. So that was really cool to see some of that process. Then we have Madison here sending us a few variations. So 2 submissions coming from Madison. And then we have Shelby from Impact Windcarriers. There's a whole bunch of other ones that we're still trying to figure out the best way to collect all of the submissions, but these were the submissions that we were most familiar with. But anyway, so those are some submissions, and just want to be able to show that to you because we want to encourage everyone at home that's kind of like, still thinking about participating, but there are people that are ongoingly participating and sharing their skills. And that's essentially what we want to do. We just want to be able to post and showcase a lot of the work and also give you guys all creative things to do at home, while you're kind of just chilling around. I know some schools, and I think BC schools back in, but these are complicated times. And so if you are a youth at home that's looking to engage, this is what this Windcarriers challenge is all about. And every week we do a draw. So everyone that submits artwork on the weekly, we put them into a draw, and then we essentially declare a winner every week. And so we do have a winner for this week, and the prize that we're actually giving away is a $100 gift card to either Walmart, EB Games, Tim Hortons, kind of like their choice. Brand new pair of Vans shoes, courtesy of Vans, who are also one of our sponsors right now. They're helping us out with a whole bunch of pairs of shoes, and so we have customizable shoes that we're giving away every week. So that was part of this week's pack, and also a N'we Jinan merch pack, which is basically N'we Jinan t-shirt, water bottle, toques, hats, all kinds of stuff that goes into that. And so the winner this week, I wish I had a drum roll, so just imagine one in your brain. And the winner this week is Madison Potts from Alexis Nakota Sioux Nation. So congratulations, Madison. You're our winner for this week. Another interesting thing, too, even if you had submitted this week or the week before, every submission that you send also goes into the grand prize draw for the MacBook Pro. So say every week you submit, even if you don't win, it's okay, because if you submit 20 times, it means you have 20 chances to win that MacBook Pro at the end of this campaign. So just remember, it's not just about winning, it's about sharing and creating art. So we're just super excited we're able to do this every week. So congratulations, Madison. We'll get in touch with you soon. going to keep things moving here, get into the first song, and kind of talk a little bit about the theme of the week. So the theme of the week, every week we always try to kind of have conversation around a theme that's connected to the N'we Jinan youth song that we play and the music video. So we the theme of this week is reason for living. We're super excited about that. Let's see here. I got I have some people actually sending some messages. We'll get into some quick messages here. We got Eddie Avila here from Rising Voices. Shout out to Eddie. Good to reconnect. We featured your work in the youth of years. Oh, yes, I do remember that. So shout out to Eddie and our friends over at Rising Voices who are tuning in right now. We have a few people tuning in. We got Brianna from Impact giving a congratulations to Madison. We have people tuning in right now from the city of Palmer in Alaska. Wow, shout out to our people from Alaska. We got Lola from Winnipeg. Big shout out to Lola. We actually worked on the N'we Jinan Festival last year with Lola at the CMHR, the Canadian Museum of Human Rights out in Winnipeg. So shout out to Lola. We're super excited to see you on the show. I hope all is well. And so the theme this week is reason for living. And this conversation is going to come up a little bit in my conversations with our guests today. And so the two guests that we have coming on the show, we're really excited. We have Violet Nelson. Super excited to bring her on. She's actually a youth that we met through the N'we Jinan Mobile Production Studio program in 2017. She's gone on to do some exceptional work in the film industry, and so we're going to be talking a little bit about that with her, and among many other things. And then we also have Fanny Aisha, nomadic painter, visual artist, does collective murals all over Turtle Island, and does a lot of amazing youth work with our organization. And so we're going to be bringing her on the show for this week's artistic challenge, and also to talk a little bit about her process. So we're super excited about bringing these two on. And so the theme of the week is reason for living, and we're going to move it on to the next section, which is song of the week. And so the song of the week today is a song that's actually featured on our N'we Jinan Windcarriers Volume 8 album, which is now available. I'm going to get rid of that banner right there. So Volume 8, the Windcarriers album, is available on all digital platforms. It's essentially a compilation album filled with amazing songs created by Indigenous youth for all over the country. And we basically put that online every year. We want to be able to celebrate our youth with a fun, exciting kind of promotional package. And so the song that we're actually going to be featuring today comes courtesy of, let me see here. I was off to such a great start. Here we go. So we got N'we Jinan, the N'we Jinan artist Mai Kwalehu, which means reason for living in the language here at Gwasala. This is based out in Port Hardy, BC, in Gwasala, and there's 4 other First Nations communities that are out there, and we're going to be playing this music video for you. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's just get into this. Let me share the page right now, and hope you can enjoy it. Please feel free to drop your comments. I'll share your comments as well if you have some comments for the youth as well for the song you're about to witness here.
I've been here my whole life, native to this land. Pain and all that I've lost, there's love in what I have. Take me to the big house, dancing with bare feet. Turn left to my heart, spirit set me free.
I almost drifted away, but I'm a fighter, I'm here to stay. I'm grateful to be alive. My family and friends, they fill my life.
Round and round again, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Round and round my attack and my defense. Round and round, my home, my beacon. I know what I'm needing. All of the roads lead me back. When I walk, I leave my tracks. Respect my body, respect my mind. The right to choose is always mine, not yours. So step aside, honor the women in your life. I'm lost for words, I've lost a lot and it hurts. My father's been gone for years, but women are strong, will reach new heights. My sister is my light. Always together, never apart. I'll always be with her, she's never too far. Stay in my arms, stay when it's dark. We can heal these scars. Round and round again, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Round and round again, my attack and my defense. Round and round, my home, my beacon. I know what I'm needing. All of the roads lead me back. When I walk, I leave my tracks.
I've been here my life, native to this land, pain and all that I've lost. There's love in what I have.
Broken promises, missed birthdays, letting go in the voice racing goodbye. And never say goodbye, but I can feel you watching over me from the sky.
My grand stories bring out my tears. Their strength helps me face my fears. Regrets fill me up till I'm numb, but I'm not ashamed of where I come from.
My family, my homies. I'm not alone with my cousin standing next to me. My home, my identity.
Mike will love you, Mike will love you.
Round and round again, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Round and round again, my attack and my defense. Round and round, my home, my beacon. I know what I'm needing. All of the roads lead me back. When I walk, I leave my tracks.
And there you have it, everyone. Maikolehu, featuring the incredible youth over at Poor Hardy in Gwaswala. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to all of the youth that were in the video. So shout out to Rianne, Sue Ann, Anna, Gabby, Emily, Nikki, Keyshawn, and Mary. Big shout out to them. The song's called My Kolehu. You can get that song online. It's on YouTube, as you guys saw. Also, you could purchase it as well on all digital platforms. You could stream it as well on Spotify. The song is actually a translation, which means my reason for living. And that was a song that was really about exploring all sides of the community, positive and negatives, and how we must persevere regardless of any hardships. Is really cool. Really that gave me the feels, that one for sure, especially that really interesting intro. And you know, the guest, the first guest that we're going to be bringing on today is actually a former N'we Jinan youth who they participated in a mobile production studio in 2017. What's really interesting about Violet is that she's also originally from that community, and so when she saw that video, it's kind of like there was that connection. You know, that video is pretty new, so it came out 2020. It came out in 2019, 2020, and it's a fairly new project, and so to see that kind of connection is really interesting. And so that's why I'm really excited to be bringing Violet on the show to talk about her perspectives as well on that. Let me just get a couple of comments here. Here we had Ashley Gandhi saying beautiful. Yeah. And then we have a question here. Have you ever worked with young natives artists out here in the U.S.? And the answer is yes, we have. We'll talk maybe a little bit about that as well. But we worked with the Wabanaki Confederacy out in Maine, Penobscot Nations, and we also worked with the Ho-Chunk Nation out of Winnebago. So, but yeah, to bring it back into this, we're really excited to bring this guest on to the show. She's done such exceptional work. I'm super proud of her. Just been watching from afar and just being able to kind of do the research to kind of to get prepared for this this interview. It was just brought me like so much pride and joy, and just super excited to bring her on. And so Violet Nelson, I'll read her official bio, which I got off Wikipedia. I don't even have my own Wikipedia, and Violet's got a pretty smooth Wikipedia. She's starting to build up her credentials, but Violet Nelson is a Kwakwaka'wakw, an Honduran actress from Canada. She's most noted for her performance as Rosie in the film The Body Remembers When the World Broke Open, for which she received a Vancouver Film Critics Circle nomination for Best Actress in a Canadian Film, and has recently been nominated for a Canadian Screen Award for Best Lead Actress. We first met her in 2017 during our work with the mobile production studio in the Surrey School District for the song Hide and Seek. Without further ado, everyone give it up for Violet Nelson. Hey, Violet, how's it going?
Hi. Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I promised Peter last week, our artist, that I would have had like those sounds of like people cheering, like it was like a show. It feels like I should have done it, but I couldn't figure out how to do it on this thing. But you deserve tons of applause for all the amazing work that you've done, Violet, over the last few years. So there you go. I'll give it up to you, you know. So where am I catching you today? Where are you right now?
I'm in Surrey at my mom's house. I'm staying with her till she has her baby.
Oh, okay. So maybe why don't you introduce yourself to the people, formally introduce yourself and talk a little bit about who you are and all that good stuff.
Okay, I'm Violet Nelson. I just said hi, welcome. My name is Violet Nelson. That's Kwakwakiwak, and I'm 20. I was in a music video with N'we Jinan, and I've been acting since 2018. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on the show today. I'm really excited. I drew because we've kind of been in touch. We have been in touch over the years too, so we have been able to catch up a little bit. But then this video, the Port Hardy video that we just the audience just watched there, kind of connected with you on a real level, because it's like your home community and all of that. So why don't you talk to us, like being a former N'we Jinan youth and like kind of being where you're at today, kind of seeing that this project kind of come to life. Like talk about like I don't know, how did it make you feel? What was your reaction to it?
Well, when I first saw it, my mom told me that there was a music video for Port Hardy, and I was like, oh my gosh, when? And she's like, it just came out. And I was in Las Cabos, and I was like freaking out. I was telling my friends that were with me, and I was like, yo, we gotta watch this video now. And when I was watching it, I was like about to cry, but I didn't want to cry in front of people. So I waited till I got back to my room, because I was like so proud of them, because like that's my family. So like I'm obviously going to be really proud of what they've done. And it made me want to go home to visit some family.
That's interesting that you say that, because we talked a little bit about that too, about like that connection to home, because it'd been a while. Like I don't even know the last time that you've been there, and there's many aspects of home that I guess maybe are not as connected as you, because you didn't grow up in Port Hardy in that area. So talk a little bit about that. Like what is it like to see like some like family and your culture and your language like represented in a film?
Seeing like the music video like for Port Hardy really made me want to learn more about my language and my culture, and that's like why I want to go home, because last time I was there, I think it was last year in May, and yeah, so it's been a while, and once this whole like COVID thing is done, I'm gonna go straight there and see some family and see Caitlin, Rianne, Gabby. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
For sure. And like there's like some aspects of the video, and I don't know how much you know about like, you know, your First Nations identity connected to like your home community. But like, you know, this intro here at the very beginning, like they're in like, you know, this, because for our folk, like our non-Indigenous folk, or even like our First Nations or Indigenous people that are not familiar with West Coast First Nations, might not know what's going on in this this scene here. So can you explain a little bit about like where they are and like what kind of things happen in like in this type of structure?
I think they're in, well, what I know is like that our women dance and that the blanket is very important. Like the designs, they all have like a story to them, and we all have our own design on it. So like on my button blanket, I have a wolf and an eagle because my family's crests are an eagle from Quetzino and wolf from Kinkum, and so like that's what I've been taught. I don't really know much about our culture and what's like. I just know that we have to be respectful in the big house.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that too, because I feel like for like, you know, our viewers at home, they might not be familiar with like a big house or a long house, which is a very like West Coast First Nations thing. So I mean,
it's
definitely
like
appreciate.
where we hold a lot of our ceremonies and like naming ceremonies and what else is there? There's like a lot of ceremonies that go on in a big house. So
Yeah, no, definitely. That's super awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. And like even like moving on a little bit here, because I want to kind of get like into a bit of like, since the N'we Jinan music video that you created with us at the Surrey School District out in 2017, a lot of things have happened to you. You know what I mean? Like a lot of really positive things, which is like super cool to be able to sit here with you today and really talk about those things. But before we get into it, maybe talk a little bit about the connection of like the Surrey School District music video that we created and this incredible film, The Body Remembers When the World Broke Open. You know, like remember that the story there, we didn't actually talk about it, but the story where they kind of saw your face, and then they asked maybe for you to audition or something like that, and we'll kind of get into the process of that. Remember that story?
Like how I got noticed for it.
Yeah, exactly.
So when we had our album launch for our album, like there was
N'we Jinan Volume 5, N'we Jinan Volume 5, eh?
We had sorry, I'm getting a message. We had this lady, Chantel. She's from CBC Radio, and she interviewed quite a bit of the youth at the album launch, and she was interviewing a hide and seek group, and I mentioned Fry Bread, and then she came back for another interview with myself and my mom, and then we kind of just stayed connected. And she messaged me saying that Elamaya Tailfeathers is having a film that she's putting together, and she's looking for a lead actress for Rosie. And she's like, let other girls know, and if you want to go for it as well, go ahead. And I was like, okay, I'll let other girls know, but I don't think I'm going to go for it. And so I told my mom about it, and then she's like, well, go for it. It's either a yes or a no that you're going to get. Might as well. Like, what's stopping you? And I was like, well, acting's not my thing. And then she's like, well, how do you know? Like, have you ever done it before? And I was like, no, I haven't. And so she kind of just forced me to go for the first audition, and I did. And then they sent me the script, and then I read it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this makes me want to get this part now, like really, really want it, because the story for The Body Remembers is very important for Indigenous women and girls and non-Indigenous women and girls to know that they're not alone when they're going through something that Rosie's going through. And it's also like to help, I guess, inspire Indigenous youth to go for something that they don't know that they are interested in, and to just try new things, because that might open a lot of doors for them.
Definitely. And so you're kind of alluding and getting a little bit into the actual film itself. The Body Remembers When the World Broke Open, which was a highly successful independent film that was co-directed by Kathleen Hepburn and Elamaya Tailfeathers, which is like super awesome. You got a chance to like work with them, and that's the famous poster, and like this poster like your face is pretty much everywhere though, Violet. And it was like so incredible to see because there's so much like raw emotion behind it. Even though you do it so easy, you just act natural and you look all like I don't know what the word is, but it just you definitely there's like emotionally charged in such a calm way kind of thing. And like I even have some photos here of like, you know, even the process and like working you know, even with all of the success that happens. But, you know, for the people that are not familiar with this film, The Body Remembers When the World Broke Open, I guess what I could do is maybe play a quick little, what's it called? Yeah, I'll play the trailer here. Thank you. Appreciate that. Just so for the people that are may have never, maybe not heard of it before, and might be interested in checking out, I highly suggest you do. So here I'm just gonna play a quick little trailer here.
I don't want to be like one of those girls, you know, the baby.
Do you know I love you so, and mommy will never let you go to the stars.
You're always from home then.
And the sky, you'll always be.
You got anybody looking out for you, Rosie?
Mommy's little guy.
I look out for myself.
Rosie!
I love you so, and mommy will never let you go to the stars and the sky. You'll always be mommy's little guy.
Woof! That one hits the feels right there. That's a trailer, man. Woo-hoo! Oh my goodness, I get emotional just like that whole. Oh man, it's such an emotionally charged film. Do you want to tell everyone a little bit about the synopsis of the film and your role? You play Rosie in the film, so maybe talk to us a little bit about what your role is, what was in the film, and all of that. The character.
Yeah, so Rosie is 19 years old and she's 8 months pregnant, and she's in an abusive relationship and she just got out of foster care. And she's like, I guess like her character, she's funny, but she's also closed off from other people, and that's why she's not as open to Isla at first. And she's like questioning Isla, and it's like she goes towards Isla and then she comes away from her because well, she's got trust issues with people, and she's like, why is this lady caring for me? Why is she helping me? And yeah, so that's Rosie, and she's like she's very, very protective of her baby because she doesn't want him to be alone when he comes into the world.
Mm-hmm. That's it. And maybe talk to us a little bit about the process of being part of a production like this. You know what I mean? You're someone it's like technically like your first film feature, right? And playing a starring role, there must have been quite a process of learning the lines and learning how to act emotionally. Did you maybe talk to us about some of the techniques that you used even in like very emotional scenes? You know, I'm very curious as to know.
Well, I actually have quite a few connections to Rosie. So my mom was in an abusive relationship when I was little, and so I witnessed that a lot. And then I was in foster care for a bit, so that helped me understand Rosie and why she's the way she is. And yeah, that's how I got the emotions out. I had to dig deep for them because I pushed them down so far. And so Kathleen and Maya, they really helped me get those emotions out in a safe way so that I don't get too lost in them. So we had a lot of rehearsal. I think we did 4 weeks of rehearsal, and then we did 3 with just the directors and myself, and then we did 1 with the entire cast and crew, and we did this all in 1 take. well, most of the film in one take. And so we had to like learn pretty much the whole script before we went into it. And
Oof.
so, yeah.
That's it though. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, you know, tying, like having that personal connection, I know that definitely helps you embody those emotions. And because it's like when you watch the film, it seems like it's so natural, you know. But I mean, having those personal connections also helps. And also they do talk about your grandparents being from Port Hardy in the film, which was so cool that they did that. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, like Kathleen and LMA, LMI, like they did such a great job at like creating those little connections as well. And shout out to them as well, because they did. I know that they've also launched like a mentorship program as well to like work with like young Indigenous filmmakers and actors to want to get more involved in filmmaking, which is like
so
super cool.
It
Yeah,
was
no,
so cool. Yeah.
definitely. We have some comments coming in here, Violet, from people that are just watching here at home. So we'll kind of get into some of those. So we got Emily John, Violet, you rock. We got Sabrina here, woo, cheering over here for Violet. That's so cool. And then wait, we got this one. This is so cool. Who's commenting right here? So we got Heidi. We got Heidi Wood from Surrey School District. So proud of your strength. You're a role model for Indigenous youth in Surrey. It's so beautiful, man. It makes me want to cry, you know. Emily John comes back to looking forward to seeing both the video and the When the Body Remembers. So it's so super cool because, you know, some folk aren't connected yet to the film. And I know that there's still a lot happening with the film, right? The film kind of received all sorts of success. It was viewed at the TIFF Film Festival, receiving an honorable mention for the best Canadian film in 2019. And then it was also screened at the Imaginative Film, right? And that Imaginative Film and Media Arts Festival, which it won, I believe it won Best Dramatic Picture. So that's like super cool, right? And you also have a nomination at the Canadian Screen Awards, and it's literally this week, right? Like Thursday, you're gonna find out if you win this nomination. So what's it been like as like an Indigenous youth that's like now catapulted into like, you know, I won't say superstardom, but you're definitely out there. You're a role model. Your face is everywhere. You're influential. You know what I mean? So talk to us about what does that feel like? You know, that responsibility.
Well, it's like it's really, really cool and really fun that I got to like travel and like go to do the Q&As for the film, and I never thought that I'd be able to do something like this. Like I got to go to Berlin, and that's pretty cool. Kind of lose sleep because you go to like different time zones and stuff. Responsibility wise, I don't really know. I guess it's just something that just came with, I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you're rolling with it. It's a wave right now. You know what I mean? You're rolling with it and learning as you go. And I mean, you've obviously you've changed quite a bit in the last few years for me, you know, maturity wise. Like, I mean, not to say that you were immature when I first met you, but, you've done a lot of exceptional things and you're inspiring a lot of people and staying on a good path. So, I mean, from my perspective, it's like, it's very inspirational to see where you're at, you know, today. And speaking of which, this will be the last question before we kind of close things off and then bring on Fanny Aisha to do the artistic challenge. But the last question I want to ask you, it's a question that we ask basically all the youth that come onto our shows with the Windcarriers challenge, but it's what message or teaching of your ancestors do you carry with you?
Well, I have this button blanket that I was given from my mom, but it was also made originally for my grandma. And we thought that the person who made it lost it in a fire, and it like popped up like 2017, I think, like just before the music video. And she gifted it to my mom because she was the closest daughter to my grandma. And my mom let me borrow it for the music video, and then she let me borrow it for I guess events, and then she said that I could keep it once I graduated. And I graduated high school, and it's just very important to me because there's an eagle and a wolf, and that's makes me think of like my grandma and my grandpa, and it's just something that's going to be passed down through the generations.
I see that. It's beautiful. And you've been wearing it like, I see it in a lot of pictures. Like I know that this was taken as like the final still of like the hide and seek music video, which was almost like prophetic in a way, because then you graduate, you're rocking it, and then you're over here in Germany rocking it on the red carpet. It's just amazing to see your trajectory and you holding and carrying that story with you, because it's super inspirational. Oh my gosh, man. Wow, it's such a joy and a pleasure to talk to you today. So I don't know. I think we're gonna leave it off there. We went pretty deep, covered a lot. And is there some final shout outs that you want to give before we end the interview?
Oh, you can get The Body Remembers on iTunes and YouTube, Apple TV, video on demand. Yeah.
Dang, look at you plugging away too. Promotion. I like that. We got Captain Kuttner. So inspiration, how brave you are, seeing the emotions on the screen. We got Shannon McLeod. Good to see you live and watch the movie. I'm very proud of you. So you got some fans coming from different places just tuning in. It's pretty awesome. I feel very privileged to be able to, and honored to have you as a guest on the show, Violet. So we'll definitely talk to you soon, and we'll see you soon. All right.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye. Take care.
You too.
All right, everyone. So that was Violet Nelson. That was super awesome to bring her on the show. It's super inspirational. Super excited about that. And we're going to keep things moving here with the next guest, with Fanny Aisha. Super excited to bring her on the show. We're bringing so every week we essentially bring another artist that works with our organization at the Impact to talk about their processes and also talk about their work that they're doing within communities, and also to share our resources as an organization. This is our Impact is like our technically where we work with artists that work within all the communities that we build our programs with. And so we're super excited that every week we're going to be bringing on another Impact artist to talk about their process, talk about their story. And we're super excited to be able to bring Fanny Aisha on the show today. I love this picture of her. This is like, her wild and free spirited out it looks like it's in the West Coast, somewhere on a beach, beautiful area. And so to formally introduce Fanny, I'm going to just do a little formal introduction, and or actually I'm going to play a little video here that she sent to me here, based in some of her work with the youth out in Kingcome Inlet community based out in BC for a project called the Wild Salmon Mural.
First, I was a little bit uncomfortable, but then I had a lot of fun because I actually like painting, and it was nice to be part of something that meant so much.
It was actually very exciting. It was like, hey, I know this person. I'm related to them.
Every time I look at it, it amazes me. And yeah, it's beautiful.
It's pretty cool. I liked it, but it's a little bit emotional too. And at first, I didn't know the meaning of this piece right here. And then Daryl, he told us the story behind it. And I thought it was fun learning about everything that's on this mural.
Here that was put up in.
So yeah, I want to stop it right there. That was like a beautifully said at the end. I love what that you said about learning about the stories through the collective mural process. That was like essentially shared by Daryl. I'm assuming that Cheryl was a local knowledge keeper or an elder from the community. And so, but we're gonna stop assuming. We're gonna bring on Fanny and get to the root of all this. But just to formally introduce Fanny Aisha, she's a self-taught nomadic painter. She writes poetry through murals. She learns every day through the collective mural process in collaboration with communities. She believes in learning, building, and collaborating in spaces where responsibilities, relationships, and reciprocities to our ecosystems are fundamental. She's been working with our organization for 4 years, and we're going to be talking to her, bringing her on the show, talk about her artistic process and experiences working with youth. So without further ado, everyone give it up for Fanny Aisha.
Hello.
There we go. How's it going? How's it going, Fanny?
Doing well. I'm shy.
You're shy. It's just me and
A
you.
little.
It's just a conversation, me and you,
Yeah,
right?
I'm kidding.
That's it. So where are we catching you today, Fanny? Where are you right now?
I'm not nomadic today. I'm really at home. I'm in Montreal right now.
Mm. So being someone that's so nomadic, how has been the whole COVID transition for you?
Oh, it's been really like I'm since day one I wanted to stay really healthy and like positive. So I tried to rest and do something positive every day and try to have gratitude for what I have, not what I don't have right now. So like I did a lot of sport and like trying to go into nature and paint and trying to figure out everything, but trying to stay positive.
Yeah, no, definitely. But it sounds like you're definitely on a good path. Like, and you're still nomadic in a way, but you just got to be a little more creative to the confinements that we have now. You know, there's always little freedoms that you can still find, especially through art. You know, so let's talk a little bit about who you are and your artist. Like before we get into your process, so explain to the people who you are and where you're from and why are you here today with us.
Okay, so where I'm from, I'm originally from, I was born in Quebec, and my maternal family is from Gaspésie. It's like a peninsula, a coastal region, and my paternal family are from Morocco. And like Violet was saying, I was like, oh, it's so funny. I was adopted, so I was in a foster family first, and then I got adopted. So I live in different places in Quebec. And I'm like in different places in Quebec.
Okay, that's awesome. But Montreal, you call Montreal home, correct?
Kind of, yeah. I miss nature. I miss nature here, so it's like a home. But I always feel it's not the final home. I'm really I need mountains and forests, so I'm here. I'm appreciative, but I don't know if I'm gonna be here forever.
That's it. And I know that because you are nomadic and you do tour a lot, like I'm also someone that like has traveled a lot as well to create art. And so I really always valued and saw that aspect of your journey. When you check on your website, there's so many different projects that have happened, but they're all like a lot of the projects seem to be very community based in different parts of like Turtle Island, but also like even extending out. But maybe before we get into all of your processes and all your artistic disciplines that you can do, maybe tell us about like, you know, how did it all start for you? Like, when did you feel like you became an artist, and like, how did you know that this is what I want to do for my career?
Well, it's really funny because like my first dream in life was to be a virologist, to work in pandemia and like resolve and finding healing for a virus. And then when I got to school, I lost like not interest into science, but it was not as interesting as art for me. So I went to study cinema and films, and I decided to study Latin American studies. And when I was in university, I got a little bit like bored to be like to learn about Latin America in Montreal. I was like, it didn't make sense to me. I really learn when I'm in concrete practical space. So I moved to Brazil to finish my year in cinema. And when I got there, that's where I actually started to paint. I realized I always like to draw. And I told you that stories, it's like really magical. I didn't have necessarily money to make a big art class. Sometimes it's super expensive. It's not accessible. And in Brazil, it's really, the art is really rooted into community. There was a lot of hip hop and like murals. And one day I was like, I really want to draw. And I was kind of praying. I was like, I need to find a space to draw. And I went out of school, and there was like a little piece of paper that was on the wall. And I used to, when I was like really poor student, I used to always be paid to put those posters on the wall for like $20. And then this poster flew, and I was like, oh my God, there's this one person that took so much time to put this. So I put it on the wall, and it was an actual poster for a free drawing class for graffiti. So I went to the workshop, and I got so excited and into it that the teacher was like, oh, you're really too much into drawing and stuff. So he's like, you want to come to another hip hop like graffiti workshop downtown? So the first day he told me that, the next day I was there, and like, you know, so much discipline and drawing. And another guy was like, oh my God, you're really like it, you should come into our community. We have those hip hop gathering, and everybody bring their paints and hip hop. So I was like, I'm just gonna go watch. And somebody misunderstood my Portuguese, and they understood I was like a Canadian muralist or a graffiti artist, and I never paint or use spray paint. So they just give me a big wall and paint, and I was like, oh, you can paint, and I had no clue how to use spray paint. So I literally froze, and I was like, oh my god, like I don't know how to do that. And I just told the truth to another artist, and he was like, oh, don't worry, just like have fun. And he just showed me how to use the spray paint, and I did something probably ugly, but I had so much like fun, and there's something that was so powerful. And then since this day, I never stopped painting. So I get it when I work with youth and people froze in front of the paper and they're like, oh my god, I'm gonna fail, or like I don't know how to paint. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's like you just have to trust yourself and like just have fun. And
yeah, definitely. And like you can tell, like, you know, it sounds like so serendipitous and like such like it's like a lot of your stories are all magical. Like all these things just happen and they sort of like transpire, and it's like the way things were meant to be kind of thing, you know. And but I mean, even that encouragement, like who would have like thought that it took that one person to just kind of encourage you to do the spray painting, and then from that little moment, it's like all of this creativity that you've kind of like been connected with is just now is in existence since then, you know. And like and thank God that guy did that, because honestly he's unleashed like an incredible visual artist here. I'm gonna like actually share a screen here of your portfolio, and like as I do that, like maybe talk to us a little bit about your process in terms of like the kind of styles that like the kind of artistic disciplines that you do, and then also where you draw inspiration from.
Well, for inspiration, I grew up by the forest. So since I'm mute, I always like find inspiration in like in what's around me. Like I don't have like, you know, sometimes when you have to explain your process, it's like it's always I really like to paint with what's in my art at the moment. So it's really it's not a straight line. It's like it changes all the time, and it's often like lots of the painting that I did in the past was to show also there was a lot of painting about stories or like people that made really powerful action that sometimes in media or TV we often hear like negative stuff about people, let's say, that stand to protect the land or land defenders. So I did a lot of portrait about people, about land defense, to show like how the beauty of taking care of like life. So it's
oh, that's beautiful. And I'm like, even just going through these, like I've seen you draw like before in a doodle, and it's like it looks like some of it just looks like this, you know, and it's like it just comes so seamless and so easily for you. This I don't even think in my lifetime I'd be able to like put together any of this kind of stuff, you know. But but it's a gift, you know what I mean, that you have, and you see like, you know, and I know that you've on your journeys, like in terms of all of these like different people that you've connected with, I feel like, and I see that representation, you connecting to like messages and connecting to these profound experiences that you're having in communities as well, and like creating art with young people. So like talk to us a little bit about like, you know, the importance of working with young people. Like when did that start happening for you as an artist, where you took it from your personal practice to being like, you know what, I want to collaborate, I want to work with young people, I want to like share my skills and also learn from them as well. Like talk about where that transition came as an artist for you.
But it's interesting because I think since the first days that I started painting, I was not even good at painting, and the first thing I did was to do painting workshop with youth. It's always what I just found it so profound. Sometimes it's like I found art is like really it's not always accessible, and I found that when you work with youth, it's the most authentic art you can have. It's like so pure and it's real, and it's like people doesn't try to make art to fit the parameters. They do it right from their art and what they feel at the moment. So I just found it's really a more experience to share time with youth. It's like a privilege. I just feel it. It's like it brings life, and it's like I would not see another place to do art. I just love it, and it always been it's always what I wanted to do.
No, definitely. I'm like looking at like some of your art here on the back end, but I'm kind of curious because like you've been working with our organization for the last like 4 years, and you've done quite a few residencies, and you've worked with a lot of different like youth and had different experiences. And I know that there's a few that you would like to share, but I'd definitely like to get into maybe one of them in particular, like your experience working out in Bella Bella. Maybe talk to us a little bit about your experience of working out there, and I could share some pictures, but like to get your sense of like how that all came about and how like, you know, how did that residency kind of transpire as well?
Well, it's I feel like in Bella Bella it was one of the most, like everywhere it's really powerful. I don't like to compare communities, but when I went to Bella Bella, it was like a full circle because we did the mural about it was about what brings strength to people, like if we could put something in one public space, what the youth would like to celebrate, and they brought different stories about how they help to clean the oil spill and how they help to protect their land about grizzly trophy hunting, and like people who help protect the language. So it was like different beautiful stories that people brought, and it was a collaboration with also Max Johnson and Frances Brown, like the language teacher. And what was really powerful is like when I went there, at the same time that I had my residencies, there was at least, I think there was like 3 feasts, and the day I left, there was this beautiful potlatch, and it was the first time I attend a potlatch, and I don't know how to express it, but like the potlatch, it's really changed my vision of life. I don't know, it's the most beautiful, powerful place you can be. And it's one thing to have stories, like let's say if you talk about language or if you paint a mask on a mural, but there's something so powerful when you're in a big house or you're in a potlatch and you see those masks alive being danced, and when you see the language being spoken in there, and when you see all the families unite together, and like everything you can witness, and like it's really where I saw what real wealth is. Like all the potlatch system, it's like one of the most profound and powerful system I've witnessed in my life. And I remember when we went to the potlatch, I'm a twin, so they had this salmon dance that only twins can lead. So Frances Brown, she didn't tell me, and she called me. I thought it was a joke, and she called me to dance during the potlatch, and I was so shy. And at the same time, I was like, wow, it was so powerful to be in this space and to be able to like to dance and like to feel just it's I don't have words to express, but it was like lifetime moving. Like I never did that.
Yeah, I remember what was the word that you said? Was it like a potlatch hangover or something? Like it was so like there was so much spiritual energy that was connected to that experience for you that it really felt like it took a lot out of you, but it was like something that you wanted to reflect on. And I mean, even moving like your experience now towards the youth as well, because I know that you had like this crazy connection with the young people out in Bella Bella. And for the people that are not aware of where Bella Bella is, it's like in northern British Columbia.
It's just territory. It's like over let's say when you're in Port Hardy, you take a plane 2 hours, I think, or an hour, and then you're this beautiful place on the central coast. Yeah.
So it's very Pacific coastal community, and they're Celtic, right? That is their language and their culture, who they are. And maybe talk to us a little bit about, because like there's this question that we always ask our artists, because we always ask the youth on the show about like, you know, what message or teachings do they carry from their ancestors with them. But for our artists, we always ask the question, you know, what teachings, because we know that the youth are so powerful and influential in their early days, you know, and they really have this crazy impact on us as well through the art and like, you know, so the question that I always ask the artists is, what impact do the, like, you know, what message do you carry with you that the young people have taught you? Let's say like in Bella Bella, like looking at like some of these pictures, you know?
Yeah, I feel like that they really taught me what culture is for real. Like just when you share to this mural first in King Kong Inlet, and in Bella Bella, and every place I went in other communities, sometimes I found that in Canada with colonialism, there's just few stories that reach other people. Like it's like if you didn't grow up in a community, there's many stories you will never heard about. And every time I work with youth, they bring all the stories about how their ancestors never surrender and how people always fought for the land and how people always defend. And I feel it's so important to hear those stories, like for the community members, for outsiders. It changed everything. And when you grew up in like a school in Quebec, and I grew up, the only thing we heard in school was like about colonialism and about residential schools, but you don't hear the stories like how people trick the government and how people never surrender and how people paddle, like when there was the potlatch ban, like in like storms to go potlatch because they believe it, like because the culture was stronger than everything. So I just feel that what they taught me is like strength and resilience and leadership, because most of the project, it was not about art, only about art. It was like almost a statement about like governance and self-determination. So they really taught me about that, like about leadership and how to be strong. And yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, thank you for sharing that. And we've definitely felt that impact from their community as well. Even in a musical sense, like that there was a music residency that happened there with Alicia Brilla. And then those kids, they came to the festival last year. And we all remember at the Canadian Museum for Human Rights, these two incredibly powerful Celtic girls.
Nadia and Natalia, and their song was about the pipeline. I still remember I was crying my life. But
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And maybe Alex, our communications officer, if you can find that link and drop that song in the comment box, because it's such an incredible song. It was such an incredible moment at our festival last year. And so, like, you know, hearing those stories of what those kids, like, you know, what the community taught you, what the youth taught you there, you see it in action too, right? When they're actually out on the front lines, like those kids step up and they're like not afraid to talk about like, you know, the things that matter to them. And so that's super powerful. So thank you for sharing that, Fanny. I really appreciate it.
And especially with the team today, it's about reason to live.
Reason for living. Yeah.
And when I say that, what they teach me was about culture, but it's not just about culture, it's about living culture. Like when the culture is alive, when people, I found the living is like really important. Like they really teach me about living.
Yeah, definitely. Which is not an easy thing to teach, right? Like you kind of, it's felt when you actually to understand what that actually means, you know? And so, so we're super excited here actually. And, you know, now that we're keeping it on the theme, we kind of want to break it into the challenge of the week, which I'm really excited about. That's what we bring our artists on to share their stories and their perspectives, but also to lend some of their skills through an artistic challenge. And so this week it's going to be on you, Fanny. But before we get into it, we're just going to talk about the prize pack to be won, because, you know, we want to excite people as well. We want to give everyone at home an incentive, not just to create art and to showcase it and create those good creative vibes out there, but also we want to give you a couple prizes too to show our appreciation. So this week's prize is going to be similar to last week's $100 gift card to anywhere you kind of where you're currently shopping. So $100 gift card for that. We also have Vans. We also have a customized shoe from Vans, which is super exciting. And then we also have the N'we Jinan prize pack, which is a N'we Jinan t-shirt, things like this. We got a bunch of them lying around. So we have N'we Jinan prize pack as well to send out. And then also every submission that you send this week also goes into our grand entry for the MacBook Pro. Super excited about that. So we're going to move into the official challenge of the week here, which will be given by Fanny. And then we'll get a little bit more into the nitty gritty of what this challenge is all about. All right. So Fanny, it's on you.
Okay. So for the challenge this week, I was thinking, because it's really every time right now, I really want people to go outside and like to close the computer. You can bring your phone, your camera, your sketchbook, and I want you guys to go outside and see what's alive around you. It could be people, it could be plants, it could be things blossoming, and I want that you choose what brings you strength and you look at what's inside. It could be in your imagination, it could be on a walk, and make it blossom. You're gonna see there's gonna be a video about a watercolor example. So for me, I choose a bear. It's a small example, and I made it blossoms with berries. And so I'm just asking you to find one things that speak to you. You can do it in watercolor. You can use, if you don't have watercolor and you can't make it, you can make your own paint. You can do embroidery. You can do whatever you want. And I just had this idea right now too, because I do collective murals. If some people want to collaborate with a family member or elder in a community, you can do a collective art with them too. So you can collaborate too, because I love collaboration. So
of course you do. That's perfect. So thank you for the challenge of the week. One of the interesting things actually though with the challenges that we're doing every week is that they're directly connected to the Empath YouTube tutorial channel, which is the channel that we've been actively working on as an organization, supporting our artists and creating these artistic workshops that kind of go through the process. And what's unique about Fanny's challenge this week is that it's also directly connected to the YouTube tutorial work. What's it called? Tutorial, right? I said YouTube tutorial. So what we're gonna do is actually we're gonna bring that up on the screen real quick. We're gonna drop the link as well, and we're gonna be promoting this link as well. So it's kind of like you get to spend, you know, how long is the video here on the Empath video with you? It's another 12-minute video, so you get to spend 12 minutes here with Fanny on this video and kind of go through your process, right, Fanny? So maybe you can explain to us a little bit about that. I'm going to bring the screen up here. We're also going to share the link in the comments box. But let me just get it up here. So, all right, this is the our Empath page right now that you're looking at. So Empath is we have tons and tons of like resources on this website in terms of all of our artists have been creating YouTube tutorial videos to break down their process, and you can literally just be at home and spend some time to learn about printmaking with our artist Chris Robinson, acting and writing tutorials with Cheyenne. We kind of have all sorts of different artistic disciplines with our artists basically breaking down their process to create projects. And so we have one here that was just put live like not too long ago here with Fanny about watercolor painting, which is directly connected to this challenge. Correct, Fanny?
Exactly. And for people who didn't have watercolor, I made some colors with honey. You can just make your own paint.
That's it. So if it's not watercolor, you give like different tips and tricks, right? On what you can use if you just have like, you don't have watercolor paint, let's say, but you have like,
you can do a drawing, you can do a collage, you can do, but I just want people to work on the theme of make things blossom and share strength in life. But if people don't have any watercolor or paintbrush, I'm totally okay to see other forms, other medium.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. And so for everyone that's like interested in doing Fanny's challenge and learning a little bit how to break down that process for this week's challenge, you can check out this video here. We just dropped the link in our comments box. You can definitely check that out and spend some time with Fanny, and also spend some time with our other artists as well, who also have YouTube tutorial videos on our Empath tutorial YouTube page. Super excited about that. And maybe Fanny, can you show an example of something that you drew?
Oh, like it's the only
bear.
Oh, wait.
I want to see the bear before we go.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. It's like just a little bear.
Oh no, just a little bear. Like it's got this huge.
But it's a little, a tiny bear. But it's a picture of a bear I took on when I went to Idaho and I was walking. I would always see this bear that was 2 years old, and he was so cute and always sleeping, and it just made me feel so calm and strength. So I took this picture of him and I transformed him into like a bear island with little trees. And when I went on my nature walk last week, I saw many raspberries, and I found raspberries leaves. I often use that as tea. It's really good for women. So I just want to do that. I put some raspberries, and it was full moon, so I had a full moon and little island. It's really simple.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It was to give a little example for.
Yeah, definitely. And I know that you broke down that process with that particular piece in the YouTube tutorial video, so people can definitely check that out. So yeah, so I don't know, Fanny, maybe there's some, to conclude this interview, maybe there's some shout outs that you want to give real quick. But before we do that, we have some people making some comments here. Oh, there was a girl here, Serena. Oh, shout out to Serena, New Hawk Nation from Bella Coola. checking us out right now.
Yeah.
We have Lola from that worked with us from the CMHR last year, who's originally from First Nations BC as well. I think Kitsakalum First Nation youth are resilient, so strong to share the stories. Thank you to have a platform for our youth. What else do we got out here? We just have a few other comments. These paintings are beautiful. Shout out to Teresa. She's also a youth from Surrey that worked with Violet on that project. So, but anyways, yeah. So definitely, thank you so much, Fanny. Are there a couple of shout outs that you want to give before we go?
Oh my God, I just want to give thanks, like for all the communities that shared so much with me, and just for the youth to be like some sunshine and impact for providing this opportunity. And I just feel like, there's so much. When you watch the news, there's so much dark things and heavy things. But when I look at all the youth and talents, and everybody has a gift and everybody's unique, and this is what gives me hope in life. And I hope that, when I was a youth, there was no job that would exist in what I want to do, and I create my own jobs. And I just want to say to youth, if there's something that doesn't exist in the world, just bring your talent and create it. Like, jump into the opportunity, create your opportunity. And if something don't exist to represent who you are, just create it, and it's gonna shine in the world. So that's my shout out.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Fanny, for your time. We appreciate you. We appreciate your time, and we'll obviously looking forward to talking to you again. All right.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
All right. Take care.
For watching.
Yeah. Bye-bye. So that's Fanny Aisha, who's doing it right there. That was awesome with the challenge of the week and some really interesting perspectives. We're super excited. So essentially, we're winding down the show right now. But for everyone that is interested in doing this week's challenge and getting involved with the Windcarriers challenge, make sure that you also have the opportunity to join our group. We just created a public group called the Windcarriers Challenge community on Facebook. So this is a great place to actually share your work, connect with others, ask questions, see how other people are engaging in the weekly challenges. But like I said as well, you can to get involved and to get more involved with the Windcarriers Challenge, you can follow us on our social media accounts, either on Facebook, so either N'we Jinan Facebook page, N'we Jinan Arts, also the Instagram page, the N'we Jinan Arts and N'we Jinan TV Instagram pages. And if you are just just interested in seeing the stuff that's already being posted, just check out the hashtag Windcarriers Challenge on Facebook or Instagram, and you can kind of see where all that information lives. So I just want to give a big shout out to everyone that's watching and tuning in today. Are there any comments that anyone's got for me? How'd you guys feel the show went today? No, I'm just kidding. But we're just really happy to be able to do this, to bring on the youth, to bring on our artists and showcase all of the talent, showcase these stories that are living within our community. We want to put good vibes out there during this very complicated time of social distancing. And so to conclude the show today, I'm going to play the music video one more time from the group out from Port Hardy, Mai Kwalehu, and just make sure you guys go check that out on the YouTube. Go support it, go share it, go like it, go comment, subscribe to our channels. Make sure you subscribe to the Empath video tutorial channel as well. We're going to be putting those through the networks. But anyways, my name is David Hodges signing off for N'we Jinan. Thank you everyone for tuning into this week's Windcarriers Challenge, episode number 3, and looking forward to seeing your artwork online. We'll see y'all soon.
I've been here my whole life, native to this land. Pain and all that I've lost, there's love in what I have. Take me to the big house. house, dancing with bare feet. Turn left to my heart, spirit set me free.
I almost drifted away, but I'm a fighter, I'm here to stay. I'm grateful to be alive. My family and friends, they fill my life.
Round and round again, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Round and round again, my attack and my defense. Round and round, my home, my beacon. I know what I'm needing. All of the roads lead me back. When I walk, I leave my tracks.
Respect my body, respect my mind. The right to choose is always mine, not yours. So step aside, honor the women in your life.
I'm lost for words, I've lost a lot and it hurts. My father's been gone for years, but women are strong, will reach new heights. My sister is my light. Always together, never apart. I'll always be with her, she's never too far. Stay in my arms, stay when it's dark. We can heal these scars.
Round and round again, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Round and round again, my attack and my defense. Round and round, my home, my beacon. I know what I'm needing. All of the roads lead me back. When I walk, I leave my tracks.
I've been here my life, native to this land, seen and all that I've lost. There's love in what I have.
Broken promises, missed birthdays, letting go that was racing goodbye, and never say goodbye. But I can feel you watching over me from the sky.
My grand stories bring out my tears. Their strength helps me face my fears. Regrets fill me up till I'm numb, but I'm not ashamed of where I come from.
My family, my homies. I'm not alone with my cousin standing next to me. My home, my identity.
Mike will love you, Mike will love you.
Round and round again, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Round and round again, my attack and my defense. Round and round, my home, my beacon. I know what I'm needing. All of the roads lead me back.